Welcome, beautiful buddies and gentlemen family. Who's gonna win the Ballon d'Or? I made a video about the Ballon d'Or a few days ago, talking about the Ballon d'Or, uh, reacting to a list made by Goal, having my thoughts and opinion. But as you can see in the thumbnail, Dembele and Yamal. Because that's, at the moment, the current competition. Obviously, the Ballon d'Or will be given out on the 27th of October. So we are in absolutely no pressure or stress to talk about this, and a lot can change until then. But I want to talk about this mostly because of the Zionistic PR coming from the Barca side when it comes to Lamine Yamal. How they're trying to change narratives, change stuff so that it suits Lamine Yamal. One of the narratives I've seen a lot of people throw around, because the narratives for the PR of Yamal, it's either to hype up Yamal or hype down he is competing with. And I do agree, when you look at the entire season, and obviously the big games now at the end of the season, I do agree that Lamine Yamal deserves the Ballon d'Or more than a Pedri or a Rafinha. Because when the biggest games of the season came up, Yamal was the better out of the three and has had a good to a great season with FC Barcelona as well. But then, for example, they're trying to downplay Ousmane Dembele for the early part of the season, which doesn't make any sense. Completely doesn't make any sense, because we're trying to look at the entire picture of the season. And if you do slightly less in the beginning, but you do so much better in the second half, I don't know why that's going to be so important. I mean, Vinicius Jr. last season, I think he scored only like 16 goals in the league or something. Like, he wasn't a Ballon d'Or candidate, nominee, until March came up. So once again, Barcelona fans, Yamal Glazers, Premier League fans, they love to throw out logic, put in the delusion. Another thing they're trying to overhype Yamal is how he's ended the season. He's been phenomenal. Phenomenal in the two games versus Inter, phenomenal in the two games versus Real Madrid. But now where the overration comes. This is a generational performance. We've never seen something like this. This is the best two-legged semi-final by one player in I don't know how long. And Yamal is the best player in the world, and Yamal deserves the Ballon d'Or. Everything so quickly, so recent, so recency bias. And I'm not going to lie about it. Lamine Yamal, at the moment, I do think he's the competitor to Ousmane Dembele. If there's anyone Ousmane Dembele has to fear, it is Lamine Yamal currently. Why? As I mentioned, performed in the two Madrid games, one in the Copa del Rey final, one in the league, to basically kill off the league title hopes for Real Madrid. And then obviously the two fixtures versus Inter Milan. So it's not like it's undeserved Lamine Yamal is in the competition with Ousmane Dembele. Before, when I saw Yamal in first and second Ballon d'Or a few months back, yeah, that was extremely delusional and disgusting. But now it's fair. It's fair. Me, someone who is in the Paris Saint-Germain, Ousmane Dembele camp, I'm very calm. I'm just going to survive the storm, because this is basically what it is. It is the latter stages of the season, Lamine Yamal Ballon d'Or push. Because until the Ballon d'Or is given out in 27th of October, all that is left is obviously the Champions League final, a few irrelevant league games for all teams, obviously the Club World Cup, Nations League, and then the beginning of the season for the teams. So Lamine Yamal, the only thing he has left is the Nations League. And that's what makes me so calm. Even though Yamal stocks have never been higher than they are at the moment, football moves so quickly. I remember Vinny, when he scored in that Champions League final, I was like, come on, nobody's even going to touch Vinny when he comes to the Ballon d'Or. Then the Euros happened and all of it switched. Obviously, we're not having a Euros, we're not having a World Cup this year, but it just talks about how everything moves quickly. So at the moment, someone that wants Dembele to win the Ballon d'Or, someone that believes he should deserve it, someone believes that he's going to win it, I'm calm at the moment. Obviously, I'm disgusted by the Lamine Yamal PR. I saw the Ballon d'Or Twitter account tweet about him, and they haven't tweeted about Dembele since 2021. So I'm calm, all right? When it comes to Paris Saint-Germain, sometimes we have to outperform ourselves. We have to do even better, because we're not competing against other football teams or football players. No, we're competing against the Zionistic, disgusting PR. So we have to do even better than we should. Now, going to Ousmane Dembele. At the moment, he is still currently the number one favorite to win the Ballon d'Or. This is most bookmakers, most odd makers, everyone has Ousmane Dembele at the moment as the current front runner. Obviously, a lot of tough competition recently with Lamine Yamal. When it comes to Dembele, it's very clear. He has 3 goals left. Champions League final. You could maybe add in a cheeky Coupe de France final, another, cheeky domestic trophy. He obviously scored in the final, Trophée du Champion versus Monaco. It would be lovely if Dembele can score in another final here and clinch the title for Paris Saint-Germain. Champions League final, Nations League. Obviously, this Nations League game, I knew it was going to be huge, but it's even bigger than it ever could be. And then obviously the Club World Cup. Champions League, just get the job done. That's the most important thing. Win that trophy. That will give you immense PR, Ousmane Dembele. Second of all, obviously, I want you to have a great performance, and I would love you to score a goal in that Champions League final. Paris Saint-Germain haven't scored a single goal in the Champions League final. We've been there once. If you could score one Dembele, score the biggest goal in this club's history, it's going to help you a lot. And I think that should be it. But then obviously, as I mentioned, the Nations League, and as I said, you're not fighting just against Lamine Yamal in Spain. You're fighting against Lamine Yamal Spain and all the Zionistic newspapers and propaganda PR media. So Dembele has to have a great game. I want Dembele to be best in that game. I want Dembele to, there are no question marks that he should be the Ballon d'Or winner. I want him to be an unanimous winner. And that game is absolutely perfect. Why? Because he's coming up against Lamine Yamal. He's also coming up against Pedri and is going to be playing alongside Kylian Mbappe. So that is the best stage to showcase yourself that you are the best player in the world, Ousmane Dembele. And then obviously, as I mentioned, the Club World Cup. The Club World Cup, obviously, Yamal is not there. And, I've talked a lot about the Club World Cup, and I understand a lot of people don't want to hype it up, because there is no hype around the Club World Cup for the moment. But I do believe when we are there, when we are in the Club World Cup, when we're coming into the knockout stages, there will be extreme hype regarding the Club World Cup. That's another thing that tells me like, oh, Yamal is not going to go close. Yes, when you talk with a Barca fan or Yamal propagandist, they would say, oh, the Club World Cup doesn't matter. Obviously, in your head, it don't matter because you don't want it to matter. Obviously, the Club World Cup will have a huge, and I think there was one Ballon d'Or competitor. Obviously, I've been talking about Yamal. There's one as well that is trying to do, a remontada now towards the end of the season. That is obviously Kylian Mbappe. I think he has 40 goals in all competitions this season. Is going to win the Pichichi, could potentially win the Golden Boot as well, which would be the first in his career. Then he will be featuring obviously in that big Nations League game between France and Spain and potentially win the trophy. And then obviously the Club World Cup, where him and Madrid want to win that tournament. They are pushing for it, and that would be insane PR for him. So I know that someone that wants Dembele to win the Ballon d'Or believes he can do that. There's still a lot to play, but I'm very calm. I'm very comfortable. I'm very confident because I know that what I've seen from Ousmane Dembele, what I've seen from this Paris Saint-Germain team, this Paris Saint-Germain will succeed in the Champions League final, will succeed really well in the Club World Cup. We'll see if we win it or not. And then obviously in the Nations League game, it's actually a very tight game. I think Spain are a little bit worse than when they faced France last year in the semis, and France are a little bit maybe better than they were when they faced Spain last time. But my overall opinions on this at the moment has been going on some disgusting Zionistic Yamal PR. I put all of that to the side. I hate to see it, but a lot of it is deserved. Yamal screamer versus Espanyol and what he's been doing in the recent games for FC Barcelona now towards the end of the season. But as a Dembuzista, as someone who wants and believes that Ousmane Dembele will win the Ballon d'Or, I'm absolutely calm. I'm absolutely confident. And you know what? It's been really enjoyable talking about Ballon d'Or. We've been talking about the Ballon d'Or basically ever since November. The rankings have been changing up and down, up and down. And now Dembele is at the top, and he will not lose that top position. You guys let me know in the comments down below who's going to win the Ballon d'Or. Is it Lamine Yamal? Is it Ousmane Dembele? Is it Kylian Mbappe? Is it Rafinha? Is it Pedri? Is it Harry Kane? Is it Mohamed Salah? Who is it? Let me know in the comments down below. That's been it from boy PS Gent, and as usual, allez, Paris.